Chicago Bears fans, we finally back with another one. I know you guys have been waiting on this, and it's week 2 of OTAs, so I'm giving you an update talking about everything that's going on and what we have here now, and it's a lot of good news to get into. So first thing I want to start off with, Alan Williams, defensive coordinator, basically saying it's a rep chart, not a depth chart. And that's basically saying, we talked about Tyree Stevenson. We talked about some of these guys getting second-team reps instead of first-team reps, and we saw it and we were like, okay, this is kind of shocking. Why is this guy here? Why is this guy not here? And then we see this and we understand, it's basically we're trying to get guys implemented into the system. You're a new guy, so you might get some more reps than a guy who's been there. Rep chart, not a depth chart. That's the first thing we have to keep in mind. Now, looking at some of the other things, DJ Moore and Justin Fields, they're still thriving. Had a big play in the red zone against Kyler Gordon, nickel corner, and it was basically just a slant route from DJ Moore. Justin Fields hit him on the money. DJ Moore got a diving catch, and that was a touchdown. Now, talking about this connection, I'm so excited. And before I get into the next thing, I just want to talk about what I can see the potential of this, because I think DJ Moore has been criminally underrated for far too long. I've said it and I'm saying it again. I think Justin Fields has needed that guy. And I talked about for Jalen Hurts, it was A.J. Brown. For Josh Allen, it was Stephon Diggs. Can it be DJ Moore for Justin Fields? I think that's the biggest thing. And seeing that they're already making big plays early, now the pads aren't on, pajama party, but it's still something that we have to take into account. And this is a great start for the football team. Now, getting into the next thing, Tyree Stevenson, my boy. I've been vouching for Tyree Stevenson and talking about him a lot now. I don't know if a lot of Chicago Bears fans have watched film on Tyree Stevenson. I don't know if you're even happy with the pick, but I can tell you one thing. I've watched film on him. Was one of the corners that I saw could have possibly went in the back end of that first round, around that Deontay Banks, Emmanuel Forbes area. But he went in the second round, and you got to steal. In that Julius Brents area, he went off the board, and this was the next guy there, so you got him. And I think he can start for this defense. I think he can be good. Now, I saw Alan Williams. He was talking about Kyler Gordon. Kyler Gordon basically saying, the transition from outside corner to nickel corner has been a tough one, but he's embracing the role, becoming a better tackler, becoming better in that space in the nickel, guarding those slot receivers, and I think it's good for him. I like him in that position. I talked about the secondary in my prior videos. And basically saying I like that group. I like what they're showing me, and I like what they can show me for next season. Now, some other things we have to talk about. Cody Whitehair, the transition from guard to center. And we know it, and we know now what we want to have. We want to have Cody Whitehair at center. We want to have Tevin Jenkins at that guard position. Played tackle last year, but now we brought in Nate Davis. We brought in Darnell Wright. And this is looking like a pretty solid offensive line to me. I mean, we have guys who can run block. We got guys who can pass pro, get into good sets. And just thinking about that now, it's really about, I don't think Cody Whitehair had a lot to put into transition from a guard to a center. This is something he's comfortable with, something he's done before. So thinking about that now, we're getting our best 5 linemen on the football field. And I think that's the biggest thing for a team who doesn't have a lot of leeway. We talk about positional players and Peter Skoronsky bringing him in and all of these things. And we basically wanted to figure out who was who, where could we put where. And they obviously figured out that they wanted to get a right tackle, so they went with Darnell Wright over a guy like Peter Skoronsky, over a guy like Broderick Jones. And, I mean, it was a good pick. I'm still happy with the pick. But having that, and Nate Davis, I'm going to talk about it a little bit later as well, but he was a guy who was still absent at OTAs. Now, getting into the next thing, Khalil Herbert, working on his blocking. And I think this is an important thing for me because he wants to be that 3-down back. He wants to stay on the football field. And he has some good guys challenging him. He has Donta Foreman. He has Roshan Johnson. And these are 2 good running backs, respective in their own right. And I think they're going to get on the football field as well. But if we can get Khalil Herbert to block, he can catch the football, and he can run the football, this makes him hard to take off the football field. And especially for a guy who probably wants to get paid in a couple years, this is what we have to do. This is what we need to do in working on all facets of your game. Now, I listened at Texas running back coach, and I listened at him talk about Roshan Johnson. He's a guy who's going to block. He's going to play special teams. He's going to do all of that. So Khalil Herbert taking on that competitive spirit. Deonta Foreman, I think it's the same thing with him. Watching him at Carolina, seeing him come to Chicago now, it's going to be a feisty, physical backfield, another physical run game. You can expect this team to run the ball. They brought in Moore. They brought in Tyler Scott, all of these guys. But this is going to be a nasty football team, and I think offensively and defensively. Now, attendance, what everybody's probably worried about, what everybody probably wants to know at this point. So, Jalen Johnson, The guy. Big money. We want to pay him. We want to keep him. At least I feel like I want to keep him. For in Chicago, I think he's earned that right to get paid. Now, how much is he going to get paid? And I want you guys to let me know that in the comments. This is the biggest takeaway from this video. How much do we pay Jalen Johnson? I think that's a big question here, because that is the contract negotiation to a point where we can't find an even ground. Does he want so much that we can't even get close to that? Or are we being cheap? Is it a Chicago Bears thing and not a Jalen Johnson thing? So I'm trying to figure that out, and let me know as a fan of this team, what do you think? Well, give me some averages, some yearly salaries, things of that nature. Give me some guarantees, anything it could look like. What range? What guys who are already paid at the corner position? Talk about Byron Murphy just got a contract. All of these guys, where should he be? Where does he fit? Top 10, top 15 corner? What do you think about that? So that's my big takeaway. Chase Claypool fighting a soft tissue injury. We've touched on that before. Now, Sanborn, Patrick, Leatherwood, they were all in attendance but did not participate. Nothing to worry about too much right there. But also, I was basically saying Mooney and Jackson. Those guys are still rehabbing, still getting some injuries better. And, that's basically fine. Take as much time as you need, because when we hit training camp, now we want to get the ball rolling. Now we want to hit the ground running. Get out of this pajama party. Let's turn up with them football pads on. Let's see what everybody can do when it's time to be a dog for real, for real. Now, just recapping that, some good things that came out of day 2. And I think the biggest thing for me, Jalen Johnson, what is his range? Where does he need to get paid? Justin Fields, him and DJ Moore still getting that connection. All of the things, rookies making plays. We got Kyler Gordon getting more comfortable in the slot. Tyler Scott, Tyree Stevenson. All of these guys that we want to see making plays are making plays. So I think it's a lot to be excited about. And remember, it's a rep chart, not a depth chart. I think I'm going to leave us with that theme for the day. Allen Williams setting the tone, letting us know we got to learn the defense. We got to be involved in the defense. We got to get reps to understand that I can trust you. And one last thing I want to say about Jalen Johnson. And this may calm some people, but he has been involved. He's been texting defensive coordinators. He's been texting the secondary coach, trying to know plays, asking questions, just getting a feel for the OTAs and how things are going. Has there been any new terminology in that room? He's been around. He's been learning. He's actively involved. So he's not there, but he's there. And understanding, I think when we get to training camp, he'll be back sooner rather than later. And even the secondary coach, John Hope, saying that. Basically, he'll be back sooner rather than later. So I think we can be comfortable with that. A lot of good news, man. What do you guys think about this? Again, let me know in the comments. Jalen Johnson, what is the range, average yearly salary, all of these things, and go Justin Fields. I'm excited to see what you do this season, man. So I'm going to leave you with that thought. That's going to do it for today. And now, we out.